People think the ocean's monsters are huge, rows of teeth, the size of a car, all muscle. But one of the most perfect killers in the deep is the length of a pencil. It hangs dead still in the black water, a mile down, watching for the faintest flicker of light. When something glows nearby, it strikes. This is the telescope fish. It's only about 6 inches long, and to the creatures it hunts, that size means nothing at all. The way it hides a kill afterward is one of the strangest, most unsettling tricks in the whole ocean. You'll almost never see one. There are only 2 known species, both so rarely caught that scientists have studied just a handful of them ever. They live all over the world in warm and mild seas alike. But they always live deep, somewhere between 1,600 and 6,500 feet down, in a part of the ocean sunlight never reaches. Down there, the only light is the light that living things make for themselves. At night, the telescope fish drifts up toward the surface to feed. By day, it sinks back into the dark, and almost everything about it is built around a single job, seeing in a place with nearly nothing to see. Because the eyes are the whole story. They're not round like yours, but 2 long tubes pointing straight forward off its face. That's exactly how the fish got its name. Relative to its head, they're enormous. Some of the largest lenses of any fish this size. They have to be. Down there, a single spark of light might be the only meal for hours, or the only warning. Each eye works like a little telescope, pulling in every scrap of light ahead of it. The trade is steep. To aim both eyes forward, the telescope fish gave up almost all of its side vision. In return, it can lock both eyes onto one point in the dark and judge distance perfectly. That matters, because it gets one shot, a single lunge in near total black at something it can barely see. The effect is easy to feel for yourself. Hold 2 paper towel rolls up to your eyes and stare down them. You lose everything to the sides, but the narrow slice straight ahead snaps into sharp focus. That forward, 2-eyed vision is rare in fish. It's the same trick evolution gave owls and gave us, showing up again in a 6-inch fish a mile underwater. The name itself is a little misleading. Gigantura means giant tail, after the long ribbon that trails off its back end. Everyone fixates on the eyes, so the common name stuck to those instead. But the eyes are only half of what makes this fish deadly. The other half is what they're looking for: light. Down in the deep, most animals make their own glow. Tiny sparks of blue that help them find mates, draw in prey, or throw off a hunter. The telescope fish turns that glow against them. Its eyes are tuned to catch the faintest flashes. So a lanternfish blinking in the dark isn't hiding. It's advertising. Its whole menu is that small, glowing crowd: the lanternfish, the bristlemouths, the little swimmers that light themselves up to survive. Some of them are among the most common fish on Earth. The telescope fish drifts through them like a wolf loose in a field of fireflies. It reads the water overhead, too, tilting its eyes up. Prey then shows up as a dark shape against the last trace of light sinking from above. Down there, light is both a lifeline and a trap. The same glow that keeps these little fish alive is what gets them eaten. For a killer, it's oddly patient. This fish doesn't chase. It hangs in the black like a scrap of drifting debris, barely moving, sometimes for a long time, waiting for a glow to wander close. Then it explodes forward, far faster than the prey can react, and the trap shuts. From a lanternfish's side of it, there's no warning at all. One moment the water is empty, the next, a mouth of glass and needles closes out of nowhere, and the little light it was making goes out. But the kill isn't the disturbing part. It's what comes next. The meal doesn't stop glowing once it's swallowed. When the telescope fish eats one of those lit-up fish, the light keeps shining inside its gut. A glowing belly, down in the dark, would be a beacon. It would call in every bigger hunter for a long way around. So the telescope fish grew a stomach that's pure black, built to trap light. Its prey can shine all it wants in there, and none of it escapes. It swallows a lantern and hides the flame. You'd struggle to see the hunter at all. The telescope fish is silvery and scaleless. Its body is so pale and thin that it nearly vanishes in open water, a ghost drifting in the black. Inside that ghost sits a mouth full of long, thin fangs, and they all angle backward toward its throat. Once prey is inside, those teeth only let it travel one way, deeper in. It's a mouth built like a one-way door. By the time anything sees it clearly, it's already too late. Then there's what fits through that door. The telescope fish can unhinge its jaws and stretch its stomach like a balloon, swallowing animals bigger than itself. Scientists call it raptorial feeding, the same brutal trick a moray eel uses. Open one up, and you might find prey folded inside that's twice the fish's own length. To put that in your terms, it's like swallowing someone your own size whole, and then swimming off with them folded up inside you. Now, shrink all of that back down to the length of a pencil, and you start to see why everything small in the deep is terrified of it. That kind of appetite comes with a risk, and one of the telescope fish's deep-sea cousins shows that risk perfectly. The black swallower is another small fish with a stretchy, bottomless gut. In 2007, a fisherman off Grand Cayman saw something floating dead at the surface and pulled up a black swallower barely 7 inches long. Inside it was a snake mackerel 34 inches long. That's more than 4 times the swallower's own size. It had caught a meal too big to finish. The prey rotted before it could be digested. Gases bloated the stomach until it burst and the body floated up into the daylight. That's how we find most black swallowers. They reach too far, and the ocean sends the evidence to the surface. The telescope fish plays the same dangerous game. One big catch can carry it a long way, but grab for the wrong meal and it could be the last one it ever takes. But the weirdest thing about the telescope fish isn't how it hunts. It's how it got that face in the first place. A baby telescope fish looks almost ordinary. Its eyes sit on the sides of its head, like any other little fish drifting near the surface. But as it grows, those eyes begin to move. Over weeks, they pull loose from the sides of its head and crawl forward across the skull, stretching into tubes, until an ordinary young fish has become the deep-sea hunter with the periscope stare. It's one of the strangest changes in the animal world. The fish starts out looking like any other, and then, slowly, its own eyes migrate across its face. It isn't born a monster. That comes later as it sinks away from the light it started life in. The world it grows into would kill you in minutes. Down where the telescope fish lives, the water sits a few degrees above freezing. The pressure is crushing, enough to fold a human body long before you ever reached it. There's no sunlight, no warmth, and almost no food. It's one of the harshest places life manages to exist anywhere, and this fragile-looking fish calls it home. To survive on so little, the fish keeps its skeleton thin and light, burning as little energy as it can between meals. And yet, for all of that, this animal is barely 6 inches long. It couldn't hurt you if it tried. The terror isn't in what it does to us. It's in what it is to everything its own size, a silent, glass-bodied killer that most of its prey never see coming. For all we've managed to piece together, the telescope fish is still mostly a stranger. We've caught so few that nearly everything we know comes from a handful of dead specimens and a few blurry deep-sea clips. Most came up in deep trawl nets, already dead. A rare few flickered past a robot's camera for a moment, then vanished back into the black. No one has ever really watched one hunt in the wild. There's no solid count of how many are down there, or how long a single one lives. Everyone pulled from the deep is a small scientific event. And that's the odd part. It lives in every ocean on the planet. Yet we've laid eyes on only a few dozen in the whole history of science. No one can even say for sure what eats it, though the sperm whales and deep-sea sharks that hunt that far down almost certainly do. For all its menace down there, it's a meal too. The monster and the prey are usually the same small animal. So why is a 6-inch fish one of the most terrifying predators in the ocean? Not because it's big, it's the length of a pencil. The terror comes from what evolution packed into that tiny body for the dark. It has telescope eyes that hunt prey by their own light, and a stomach black enough to hide a swallowed lantern. Its fangs work like a one-way door on a gut that stretches around animals bigger than itself. And it's only one fish. The deep ocean is most of the living space on this whole planet, and we've explored almost none of it. And this little fish is proof that the scariest things down there aren't the ones we've already found. They're the ones still waiting in the dark. If you want to meet its neighbor, the fish that makes a light of its own instead of stealing everyone else's, watch our video, We Were Completely Wrong About the Dragonfish. Then, drop a like, subscribe, and tell me one thing. If a killer this strange can hide inside a fish the size of a pencil, What else is down there in the dark that we've never seen?